Ched Evans, the falsely accused Premier League footballer. We've covered cases on this channel of Benjamin Mendy, who got accused of numerous R charges, and also Mason Greenwood, who got accused of just one recently on his former partner. But what about a player that's been accused that actually went and spent time inside, but was falsely accused and found innocent at a later date? We're going to get into this case now. May 2011. Father of one and professional footballer, Evans is arrested in North Wales. Ched Evans and also his friend, another footballer, Mr. McDonald, were said to have intercourse with a woman in a Premier Inn, and allegedly an R charge unfolded there. Evans at the time was a Sheffield United striker playing in the Premier League, and his friend was also playing at a high level for Port Vale, and both were arrested for these serious offences. Ched Evans was 27 and admitted to having intercourse with the teenager in his hotel in North Wales and cheated on his girlfriend in the process, but always insisted it had been consensual. He had maintained his innocence from the very outset, saying the woman had invited him to join in a 4 AM romp with a fellow footballer. It was said that the woman had been brought to the hotel initially to do stuff with the other footballer, Mr. McDonald, and he had alerted his friend Ched Evans that he had got a bird. It was then that Evans went to the hotel. It was said that he blagged his way into the hotel room and began having intercourse with the girl also. But the question was asked that did she even know he was in the room, and the prosecutors were saying she was too drunk to consent to doing anything with Ched Evans. The footballer Mr. Evans was convicted of an R charge following a trial at Crown Court in Wales, in which he maintained his innocence throughout, and he was sentenced to a jail term of 5 years. Despite being cheated on, Ched Evans' girlfriend stood by him throughout his 5-year ordeal and worked tirelessly from the beginning to try and clear his name. She had put a message up on Facebook with a £50,000 reward attached to it, saying, "I'm literally begging, if anyone knows anything, please help me." In October 2012, she told ITV's This Morning, "As soon as I found out he'd been questioned over an R charge, my instinct was kind of protective of Ched, and I thought I have to stand by him. So my thoughts and feelings over the cheating have been put to the side, and I just stepped in to help Ched through this terrible time. I've been with him for 2.5 years, and I know Ched, and I know he would never be capable of committing a crime like that." Ched Evans said, "I hurt the woman I love with all my heart. In May 2011 at the hotel in North Wales, by cheating on my partner Natasha, I hurt the woman I love with all my heart." Evans said, looking directly into the camera. "Since that night, I've constantly regretted my act and the damage that it has done on so many fronts because of it."
That when you do look at the case in depth, in detail, then there is a question of the rape. I know he's been convicted of it by a jury, but when you do look at the evidence, it is there for appeal. I mean, it's divided opinion, of course, and I think when you look at the case in detail, and I think most people haven't really, because they've just seen Ched Evans as a convicted rapist. When you do look at the case and look at the evidence before everybody to see, then certainly Ched has got a case. And I'm a big believer that if you've done your time, then everybody deserves a second chance. We've seen footballers involved with accidents and being given a second chance. And for me, the appeal can't come quick enough for Ched. It must be a frustrating and difficult time for him.
November 2012, Mr. Evans loses his appeal against the conviction at London's Court of Appeal. Leading up to the time of Ched Evans being released from prison, a lot of people in the football world especially had turned their back on the player and literally wanted to cancel him. August 2014, an online petition is launched urging Sheffield United not to re-sign Mr. Evans.
Of Ched Evans and whether or not he's coming back here. From the hierarchy, what's the view? Is he?
From the hierarchy, which includes me, we've not made a decision. So we realize that he's about to be released. We've made previous press statements about this matter, which amount to our saying very little, because we haven't made a decision and we're not ready to address the issue or say more than we've said on it. We acknowledge that it's a very, very difficult issue, and we are still puzzling through it. We don't have a clear answer. So, and we're not a part of. There's a part of the Ched Evans case that doesn't. He's working to establish his innocence. We're not a part of that. We're a football club trying to get promoted. So, we don't want to do anything that gets in his way.
October 2014, the former Wales international is released from prison after serving half of his sentence and states his desire to return to football. Ched Evans was going to return to training with Sheffield United, but complaints at the club made them retract their offer of joining the club back at training. Then another club called Oldham Athletic was talking about signing him, then released a statement later saying they wouldn't. That happened again with another club who was rumoured to sign him. Hartlepool United had to release a statement on their website saying they had no indication of signing the footballer. There was then rumours of him possibly signing for a club abroad, but the ministry says there are strict conditions imposed on convicted sex offenders, effectively ruling out working abroad. So at this point, Ched Evans was at a dead end with his football career and his future as a whole. October 2015, the Criminal Cases Review Commission refers Mr. Evans' case to the Court of Appeal after it says new evidence has come to light. April 2016, the Court of Appeal squashed Mr. Evans' conviction and ordered a retrial. A few months before the schedule of the retrial, Ched Evans returned to football, signing for Chesterfield. October 2016, a jury finds Mr. Evans not guilty of rape following a 2-week trial at Cardiff Crown Court.
In the early hours of the 30th of May 2011, an incident occurred in North Wales that was to change my life and the lives of others forever. That incident did not involve the commission of a criminal offence. And today I am overwhelmed with relief that the jury agreed. Thanks go to my friends and family, most notably my fiancée Natasha, who chose, perhaps incredibly, to support me in my darkest hour. Whilst my innocence has now been established, I wish to make it clear that I wholeheartedly apologise to anyone who might have been affected by the events of the night in question.
Few years later, an article come out saying Ched Evans, the professional footballer whose conviction for an armed charge was squashed 3 years ago, has struck an out-of-court settlement worth £800,000. That is a lot of money, of course, nearly £1 million, but 2.5 years of your life taken for something you didn't even do. I would have thought he would have got a lot more money than that, but it was an out-of-court settlement. This case actually goes to show that the system can make mistakes. This guy was falsely accused and actually spent time inside. That means there must actually be people in the system right now that are innocent and saying they're innocent, but nobody believes them. Possibly they don't have the kind of money that Ched Evans does to get the right lawyers and don't have a big enough name for the media to cover it and draw attention to their case. That's it for this video, but make sure you follow my Instagram at Fesify for daily updates on stories like this.